So the next one, this is just one for you to look at and see. So this is the sort of thing, this is, what is it, Queensland hotels. This is one I got off some website which had statistics about things. So Queensland hotels, and it's, you look down here and it's quarterly data and it's room nights. Okay, would you expect there to be seasonality? Yes, you would, because people go to Queensland when it's not so hot, I think, if they're sane. Or maybe not. No, they go when it's hot. No, clearly not sane. Okay, so yeah, but we can see that. Now the other thing we think about is, okay, it's quarterly. How often should it repeat? It should repeat every 4. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, oops, 4. Okay, now it's not as clear as the previous one where the pattern was exactly the same, but you can still see it goes low, low, high, high, low, low, high, high, low, low, high, high. And so you can see, even though it's not a perfect seasonality like the previous one, there is still an element of seasonality in it. Okay, would you say that there was trend? Well, it's actually quite hard to tell because it's quite flat, but what you do is you try to make sure you compare for the same season. So you get out your ruler on the screen and you look, okay, well I'll look at a December one. Okay, so just look at the December ones here, and here's a December one here. Okay, so we'll just see, is that going up? And you see, look, it's just down at this line here. And in fact, you can draw a line through them, and you can see it's going up. So it's a very small trend. Well, it depends on what your scale is, but there is definitely a trend, and there is seasonality. So the answer to that one would be yes, seasonality and trend. Okay, what about this one? This is outstanding credit card balances in New Zealand. I hope you're finding these interesting contexts. I thought, oh my goodness, these are shocking. Okay, would you expect there to be seasonality in outstanding credit card balances? Yes. And when would we expect it to occur? Just Christmas, yep. And look at this, we have a little December, 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 December. Okay, so yes. And is there a trend? Sadly, there's an enormous trend. I mean, look at that. This is from 2000 up to 2008. The balance in millions of dollars has gone from, well, it's gone from 2.5 billion up to nearly over 5 billion. So it's doubled in 8 years how much people owe on credit cards. So trend and seasonality. Okay, here's an interesting one I thought I'd just put in to talk about. And this is the sort of thing that they do in Stats New Zealand that can be helpful to you if you're working on different things. Now, do any of you remember the Y2K business? Okay, what happened at Y2K was at the year 2000, people thought that all the computers would fall over because they only had 2 places for their nut dates, like 1996, 97, and when we got to 2000, they'd all turn over to 00 and their computers would explode and the shops wouldn't work anymore and we would all starve. And so what happened was, that's a bit cynical, but in fact there was a possibility that things would not work. And so people were encouraged to get some extra things in, some food and water and things like that, just in case the world came to an end on the 1st of January 2000. Okay, now here, these are our food retail sales in New Zealand, and this is monthly. And you can see there's this big peak here in December. So in fact, normally in December, so that's another Christmas effect, people spend more money. Heck, you buy a turkey for $70 or something like that. That's fairly substantial boost. Okay, so the seasonally, so then what they've done here is this pink line is the seasonally adjusted series. So what they've done is they've looked at how much does it normally go up in December. So this pink one is compared to normal Decembers. So you see at December 1999, there were more sales than you would normally expect in a December, and that's the Y2K effect. But what's interesting is looking at January, it's almost exactly the same as usual. And so what that's showing is that people didn't then eat what they bought in December. They bought the December stuff or whatever the extra was, and then it sat there, and it's probably still there now getting stale, well, way past stale. And they still bought the same amount that they would do in January, which you wouldn't necessarily think was the case. So you can see how this analysis of data can be helpful when you're making decisions. So things like if people know in the future that there's going to be another event like this, you've got some idea of how people will behave.